Hi everyone. Today we're going to be focusing on something called sweet poison. Some of us have read a book called Sweet Poison, and that's exactly what we're going to be discussing today. We're going to be focusing on sugar in our diet. Did you realise, and I didn't until I looked it up, that sugar first hit our stores in 1910, and that's when Cadbury created their first chocolate bar. Coca-Cola then came on the scene in 1925. So we haven't had sugar in our diet for a very long time. In 1910, most people were not overweight, but by our standards today, we're actually considered to be underweight. So I think that's interesting. Studies certainly do show that there is a link between sugar in our diets and being overweight. So the more sugar we have, the more weight will actually increase throughout the years. So it's not fat that makes us fat, according to the research. It's actually the sugar component in our diet. So if we can learn about what sugar is, how do we limit it in our diet, and how do we know if we're addicted to sugar? So sugar in itself is extremely addictive. And in 1910, the first breakfast cereal also came to power, and that was a breakfast cereal that has the same name as one that was in our stores at the moment, and it had 9 times less sugar than it does now. So the reason why they've had to increase the sugar amount in that breakfast cereal is because we've become more and more addicted. So your taste buds get used to the sugar, so you need more and more of a hit to get the same pleasurable effect. These companies spend millions of dollars to try and make a product that's as addictive as possible so that we become hooked and keep buying it. So it's something to keep in mind. Your taste buds do get used to a certain amount of sweetness, and therefore you can retrain your taste buds to not need such a sugar hit. Why is that important? There's a few things that's important. Sugar's addictive as nicotine. So withdrawing from sugar addiction is just as bad as withdrawing from nicotine or cigarette addiction. Sugar can lead to things like heart attacks, diabetes, cancer, premature aging, wrinkles. Can also lead to changes in our hormones such that it's harder to lose that weight if we've been struggling with that. It also can weaken our bones and lead to things like osteoporosis. So sugar in our diet in itself really needs to be minimised, but it's hard because so many things have sugar in it. So how do you know how much sugar to have? Research has shown that 4 teaspoons a day is considered safe. That's 20 grams. Most of us wouldn't know how many grams of sugar in certain things. Take a glass of orange juice. This glass of orange juice has 3 teaspoons of sugar in it. So that's almost your daily requirement, just in that glass of orange juice. Other things that you probably wouldn't know have sugar in them are things like muesli bars. They're things called hidden sugars. So you've got things that are obviously sugary, but things that are hidden you may not realise. Read the backs of packets and it's got too much sugar in it. Perhaps choose something else. Safe sugars, or sugars that are meant to be good for you, are sugars that are packed with fibre. See, nature will always pack its sugar with fibre, so fruit is definitely a better option in terms of your sugar hit. That has 5 grams of sugar in it, so it has 1/3 of the amount of sugar than a glass of orange juice, so certainly a better option. In terms of alternatives, if you're looking to try and break your sugar addiction, and how do you know you're addicted? Well, can you go 24 hours without having something sweet? That's a good sign that there is a sugar addiction perhaps ruling your taste buds in that instance. Can you stop at just one? Can you stop at just one Tim Tam, or can you stop at just one biscuit? Most people can't. That's another sign. So how can we break this to try and get some control over our weight, over our appetites, and start feeling a little bit more satisfied with our meals? We can choose some non-sugar alternatives for snacks. Things like nuts, they're fantastic. Your body will register that you're full when you've had some nuts, as opposed to when you eat sugar, your body won't register that it's full, so you'll keep eating more and more and more. Things like plain crackers are great as well. Other alternatives, if you can make your own hot chocolate. Get some raw cocoa, some low-fat milk, and add your own sweetener. Don't choose artificial sweetener that you can buy in the supermarket. That's been shown in studies to be converted to sugar and fat, just like the other sugars are. So really avoid all aspartame or phenylalanines. They're not good for you. They're toxic, they're man-made, and they've been shown to cause cancer in certain types of lab animals. Whether it causes cancer in humans, we don't know, but it'd be nice not to find out. Try something like stevia. Stevia is from a plant. It's a natural sweetener. You can add it to your cocoa mixture and make hot chocolate. You can make chocolate at home with it. Xylitol is another one of those natural sweeteners. So there are definitely alternatives. So just to wrap up, there's lots of sugar in our diet. Some of them are hidden sugars, some of them are obvious sugars, and some of them are safe sugars. Your safe sugars are sugars that are found in nature. They're wrapped with fibre. So things like fruit definitely has natural sugars in it. They're safe sugars. 2 pieces of fruit a day for an adult and 1 piece of fruit a day for a child is generally all that's needed. Other than that, try and choose a non-sugary snack. So nuts, plain crackers. You might choose a non-sugary muesli bar. Hard to find, but they can be found. So good luck, guys, with balancing out your sugar. Certainly not an easy task, and I'll see you next time.